show you shared with me that tonight. I hope you all remember this moment. It won't last so much longer, so I cherish every moment here tonight. I saw the lights through my screens, warm like a blanket, everything you got. You see this feeling like I am part of the world you have over there. What's up, everyone? So today we got something going on again as usual. Yeah, of course, again, a lot of people think like Japan's like a utopia or something where everything is like perfect, where everybody is like a freaking an anime character and people freaking fly and like people have got like superpowers and whatever going on. So like a lot of people actually believe that if you come to Japan that like you'll freaking get treated in the best way possible. But you guys know like it's not real, right? You guys know like Japan's not really a utopia that you guys think of. Like Japan's pretty much like freaking America. So there's like this freaking famous meme like where you show a picture of like a random like rice field and you put American like right before the picture, right? Like American rice field. And it's like, ooh, normal. But if you put Japanese there right before the picture and make it like Japanese rice field, everybody goes like, oh, Japan? Japanese rice field? It's literally how it works. And I think it's really, really interesting, honestly. And that's kind of like what this is about too. And so like, there's this one amazing YouTuber called Mrs. Eats. And I actually kind of know about them. It's like a channel about like, you know, Japan and like Japanese culture and whatever, which I really think is an amazing channel. What are you drinking? Dr. Pepper. And one thing, let me tell you something. Do Japanese people actually scam foreigners? Yes, they do. There are a lot of like videos about it. There are a lot of like people who got scammed in Japan. There's like freaking everything that happened in Japan. So if you guys ever think Japan's like the safest place ever, yes, in a way, but at the same time, Japan's not really like the safest place. If you come to Japan, obviously you will have some like bad experience here as well. Very important question: where do you buy those cheap Dr. Pepper cans? Costco. Is renting girlfriends in Japan real? Yes. So actually though, I'm kind of curious like what this video is about, so we're gonna just like dive into it and see what they are like saying in this video, because I want to make sure if Japanese people are like legit like scamming foreigners or whatnot. Because I mean, I know it happens, but I'm just really curious like how it happens. There will be scammers no matter what country you go to. So like, again, let me actually ask you guys a question. Do you guys truly believe like Japan's like a place like where everything is like perfect? And this is a legitimate question. I mean, if you actually think Japan's like the perfect country where like everything is like perfect, vote yes. I mean, that's fine. You can be honest. Like, I'm not gonna make fun of you or anything, cause like, yeah, if you like anime and if you if you love Japan and Japanese people and whatever culture we have, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I understand like how some people like go like, oh, I want to think Japan is the best country because it's my dream to go to Japan. It makes sense. But in reality, no. Japan's not a utopia. Like, it's not really a perfect place. And I've been kind of making videos about Japanese culture and like Japanese work culture and like Japanese freaking like school like rules and whatever. And you know like how we got some flaws too, right? And by the way, if you ever say, oh, Japan's got flaws, you get canceled. That's kind of like how it is. It's kind of like how like saying anime is not real and you get canceled like for that too. It's literally saying like, so basically saying like stating any facts about Japan is equivalent to saying Voldemort like in Harry Potter. Like it's kind of like banned. You cannot really reveal like the flaws in Japan. If you do that, you get canceled. Or like you're a bad person. That's kind of like what happens. But I feel like I got the privilege to say that as a Japanese person who kind of knows about Japan. And thank you, Fathon. Yo, Sora, how are you? Let's meet up. JK, thank you so much for the donation. If I ever do like a stream snipe me competition kind of thing, like on stream, you can snipe me actually, and like I might bring you to like this burger place or something. Like that's kind of like what I've been doing on my channel. Anyways, you guys are curious what this video is about, right? And you guys are also curious if Japanese people actually scam foreigners or not. And I'm 100% sure Japanese people scam foreigners. Yes, it's been like happening. Like there's been like this one thing going on, like where I know who he is actually. I think he's a great like YouTuber too. But stating bad things about Japan gets you cancelled. Like, it's kind of like how it is. And Kisama, thank you. Chinchin, thank you so much for letting me say penis. I really appreciate it. And Rina Denka, thank you. Where's my burger? Lol. If I ever do like one more like a stream where you can stream snipe me, I will bring you to a burger restaurant and I will buy you a burger. So yeah, again, if you ever say like anything about Japan, you get cancelled. Like I've seen a lot of people who got cancelled for saying like, oh, I went to Japan and it was not the best country. Like I feel like it's a thing. Again, like we are like Japanese people like freaking cats and puppies. Like we are like cutest living things, right? So if you ever say like any bad things about the cutest like things ever, then you get cancelled. Like that's kind of like how it is. And I think it's really interesting. Anyways, let's just see what this video is about. And let's see if this is real and if Japanese people actually scam foreigners or not. Let's go.
For being one of the most peaceful countries, often ranking within the top 10 legal. For
no! Oh, here comes like another amazing Japanese ad.
No, IT エンジニア。君の部屋狭いな。
俺の会社給料安いんだよ。
給料？なんだそれ。
働くともらえるお金。
I don't know what this ad is about, but we are gonna skip it because I don't really think it has anything to do with like what we are doing today here. It's another amazing Japanese ad, and I know like a lot of you guys out there are freaking like interested in Japanese ads, and like a lot of you guys are freaking looking for those like ads on YouTube, thinking like, oh my gosh, I heard the Japanese ads are amazing and interesting. But no, they are just ads. Like that's kind of like what they're doing, right? So like if you look for the ads, like you're kind of like falling for their strategy. Do you know the Yes Milk ad? No.
Japan is well known for being one of the most peaceful countries, often ranking within the top 10 of the Global Peace Index. But just because it's safe doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who are trying to scam you. Of course, you probably know about some of the—
By the way, did you guys know that like there are murderers in Japan? Oh my gosh! There are murderers? Gosh! Are you serious? Really? No way! People die in Japan? Oh my gosh. Did you guys know that you get killed in Japan? But yeah, so like there are some people out there, like let me tell you, like it's been really interesting, like how there's like this one trend going on, like where some weebs come to Japan, right? And I think it's really amazing when weebs come to Japan. I legitimately get happy about it. Like I'm like, whoo, weebs are coming to Japan. They are coming to Japan to experience some things, and then weebs come to Japan and they experience bad things in Japan, and then it's really interesting because like it's kind of normal to like experience bad things like in any countries, right? Again, like Japan's not a utopia like where everything's like perfect. Of course there are bad things about Japan too. So we just come to Japan and they assume like Japan's like the perfect country where everything is perfect, and they, you know, encounter those like flaws and they go like, what the fuck? Japan sucks! And they freaking like type long comments on Reddit, on Twitter. And they even like make videos on YouTube and like they say something like Japan sucks, Japan sucks, Japan sucks, which I think is like interesting. And I'm not gonna really say like they're bad or anything. It's just their opinion. But again, like it's just when you have like high expectations about Japan, like it backfires, right? Like it kind of goes like, wow, Japan's not really that perfect, and you just go like, Japan is sick, like in bad way. Oh my gosh, I'm never going back to Japan anymore. Like Japan is a like country where everybody freaking watches anime. That's kind of true too. So.
More common scams here in Japan, like the pizza scam, where pizza
But
restaurants.
I love Japan, US, and Japan. Thank you so much for saying that. So like, I think it's important to understand some bad things about Japan, and it's important to dislike. You can dislike Japan too. Dislike some part about Japan at the same time. You can love Japan for its amazing things. It's kind of like what you have to do, like when you're in Japan.
Restaurants charge you $40 for a medium-sized pizza. But I'm gonna tell you more about the hidden scams. A lot of them are unique to Japan, and scammers use these to target mainly non-Japanese.
Actually, let me ask you something. MD, thank you. Being a GI in Japan, we get told about all the drink scams or hidden fees that target non-Japanese speakers. It's a thing, yeah. So like, I was watching this video and they were talking about like Japanese restaurants, right? So like on Japanese menus, like all the things were freaking like about like $5 or like even $3, right? But in the English menu, it was like $8, $10, $11. The price was freaking twice more expensive. And they're like, what the fuck? Because again, like they just never thought it would be something like that in Japan, right? But they experienced it, so they went like, what the hell is this? So they did the most Karen thing like possible, but like you kind of have to be Karen sometimes. They freaking went like, can I speak to the manager? And then the manager actually came up, right? And what he said apparently was like, tax, which means like tax. But obviously it has nothing to do with like tax. Like it's not like, it doesn't get twice more, like 2 times more expensive. Like that's not how it works, right? So. And Japan sucks. Summer is too hot, and my hay fever activates every spring and fall. Yeah, that's true, actually. And you can actually state some like obvious facts too. And usually Japanese people say something like, "Then don't come to Japan. Like you don't have to come to Japan. Like if you don't like to come to Japan, why are you in Japan? Like you can stay in your country." There are some people who say that too. And but I don't know. I think it's like important to say like some things you hate about Japan, and just deal with the things you hate about Japan too. It's important that way too. Are you sick? Not really, but I keep coughing. I've been coughing for a week now.
So let's talk about how scammers are gonna target you and how you can stay safe from them. The train ticket scam.
What? Trains are like the safest. Wait. Let me actually watch this, because like trains are like the freaking fairest like thing ever.
Tourists. This scam isn't as widespread as some of the other scams in this video, but it is something that you do need to be aware of. You're at the train station ticket machine trying to figure out which ticket you need to buy when a seemingly nice person comes up to you and tries to help. They'll ask you where you're going and show you how.
Oh, that happens, by the way. Like, usually there are some, like, amazing Japanese people who want to practice English. And I've been making videos about it so many times, like, where one Japanese person comes up to you and they're like, do you need help? Like, they sound freaking cute, right? They freaking really cute. They freaking sound like an actual, like, anime character from, like, anime, right? So you just go like, oh, thank you. Because, like, it's actually, like, a happy thing when Japanese people help you, right? And that's probably what they're talking about here. And thank you so much for the donation, Juan de la Cruz. I may be there in August for Comic. If not, then October for Cosplay Fest. If I run into you in the streets, cool. Otherwise, oh well. Thank you so much for the donation. I actually am interested in like seeing you on stream or something. I usually don't really try to see my fans outside of my channel or like outside of my stream, because like it gets kind of hardcore sometimes. I don't really do that. But if you ever like run into me like on stream, yeah, sure. Let me bring you to like a burger place. Like that's kind of like one thing I do on my channel, right?
To buy tickets from the machine, but after you get your change, that's when they strike. This scam's a little bit tricky to spot, but show you how to buy. They'll ask you where you're going and show you how to buy tickets from the machine, but after you get your change, that's when they strike. This scam.
Hey, dude, wait. If there are any people that are in Japan, is it really like is it real? I've never seen it happen. Wait, 英語わからない. You don't speak English. Wait, so let me actually explain it to Japanese people out there. Or like any people who speak Japanese. だから、チケット買うじゃん、切符。で、買ったじゃん。で、したら、買い方教えるじゃん。で、買ったからさ、お金くれよってやつ。ないよね。Does that ever happen in Japan? Pay a tip? No, tipping is like not even a thing here. Bro, I'm good at speaking English like you. Like, you wanna talk? Wait, what? Oh, you think I'm learning English? Oh, yeah. Oh. You know what? Yeah. I take like online English lessons and, I watch a lot of like Hollywood movies to like learn English. So thank you so much for asking me that though. Like, oh my gosh, I wanna talk to English speaking people and I wanna practice my English. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. What's your name? The Mystic Man. Bro, you are so good at speaking English. Yeah, but thank you so much for the offer, though. I really appreciate it. I'd rather study like Japanese kanji characters more, because like a lot of people think like I'm not Japanese for some reason, because like I suck at like a lot of Japanese things, honestly. And I was talking to my viewers like on stream the other day, right? And there's like this one place called Sendai, and I freaking thought it was like in Ibaraki, and it was not apparently in Ibaraki. Which means I'm not Japanese, or like I'm super dumb, right? So like I'm trying to actually learn about Japan now to like prove that I'm really Japanese. But anyways.
Scam's a little bit tricky to spot because there are actually really nice people here in Japan that want to help you out, but it can be easy to confuse a scammer for a good Samaritan. So when in doubt, just ask one of the train station staff if you need help. At bigger stations, you'll often find the staff in full uniform standing by the train ticket machines, and at smaller stations, you'll find them behind the ticket gate counter. So feel free to ask them anytime you need help.
Thank you, Dice Punk Studios. Hello from Singapore. Love Japan, but the one negative experience I had was sleeping overnight at a manga cafe. They never tell you about the sticky pages and cigarette smoking ojisan. Just one place. Oh, sticky pages. You mean like those people? Oh, manga cafe. You guys know what a manga cafe is, right? By the way, let me ask you guys a question. I have to talk about it. Do you guys know what a manga cafe is? Well, like internet cafe or like a computer cafe is like what we call it in Japan. Like computer cafe. 言うか? 言わないかも. Maybe we don't say it. Yeah, sticking pages. Yeah, so like manga cafe, whatever cafe, if it had something to do with like you using your computer or like reading manga or like watching anime, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. And we call it manga kissa or like a necafe? Netto kiss? I don't really know how to even like say that because I never really go to like those places. And yes, what he said here is like so true, and it's actually kind of like one reality like nobody talks about in Japan, right? If you go to like those cafes, like let's say if you go to like a manga cafe, right? And there's usually like a computer, and it's like you can just like do anything on the computer, right? Yeah, manga kissa or cafe. You guys freaking know how to say it better than me. And what it's known for is not really actually for just like net surfing. What people use it is basically to watch porn. I'm not gonna actually say the word because, yeah, to watch porn. And the reason why they do it there instead of like their house, their home, is because they simply cannot do it like at home, at their home, because like it's usually like they're married or like they have like, you know, their girlfriend at home, or like their parents are strict or something. So literally there's like high demand for that in Japan. So they usually go to like those places and they touch themselves there. It's a thing, yes. And yeah, DVD Kansho Cafe. Yeah. Country mom, like, yeah, she even said that too. There's like this one place in Japan called like DVD watching cafe. It makes no sense, right? Like in 2023 and you still like watch DVD? What the hell, right? But it's usually freaking really cheap, and it's usually called like Kintaro Cafe or something, like Goku Cafe, whatever. I forgot. Like it usually is like so animated. Like you freaking see like this Goku looking person on their like, you know, like ads and whatever. If you go there, suddenly, boom, a lot of like prawn DVDs, and in each room it's like usually soundproof, right? And there's like only one computer, and there are like freaking tissue boxes and whatever. At that point, it's obvious like what you do in there. But if you still like do not know like what happens in like those rooms, you probably are really pure. So you probably should play Roblox or something. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just giving you a recommendation, right? A public Jack Shack, yeah, basically, yes. And it's like only like $5 or something an hour. My DVD の店みたいなとこ行ったらゲイが集まってた。すげえ楽しそう。
Bar and restaurant scam. Target everyone.
プレイヤー1準備はいいですか？
プレイヤー1準備はいいですか？
In Japan, it's so common to see people standing outside handing out flyers, little packs of tissue, and this is a very effective way for companies here to advertise their services.
Is it Akiba? It's Akihabara, right? And by the way, if this is like Akihabara, they usually like hide their faces. Like they are obviously maize, right? They are usually like maize, and if you try to record them, what they usually do is like. And I didn't know why they do it for a long time. I was like, why do you even like hide your faces? Like nothing made sense to me, right? Because it literally makes no sense. Because what they are doing is like they are freaking like just giving out like their like brochure, like tissue and whatever. There's nothing illegal about it. But whenever I stream in Akihabara, they freaking do this. So I didn't understand why, but I googled it after that, and apparently there are a lot of like maid cafes that turn into brothels at night, and like those people who work there are maids in the afternoon, but they turn into like prostitutes at night. Is what I heard. I could be wrong about it. This is just a rumor I heard on the internet. Like saying something like, oh, I learned this on the internet is like the most, like, it's like the stupidest thing ever, right? So I really don't want to do that. But that's apparently what that is. Yeah, Uramenu. You know what he knows what I'm talking about. There's like in Japan this thing called a ura something. Like, let me actually explain it. This is like freaking important here. Ura, the other side, right? So ura, that means like the other side. So there's like ura menu, like the other side menu, or like ura option, the other side option. This basically means is like something that's hidden from everybody. It's illegal. I think so. I'm not really sure though, but that's just like, yeah, uraka, yeah, you can say like uraka, which is like the other side account, which it's like just, you know, something that's hidden from the public, like from everybody else, basically. The underground, yeah. So that's kind of like what that is, I think. Like they have like the other side menu, like ura menu, and I feel like that's kind of why they hide their faces. Like when I try to like I didn't even like freaking try to record them or anything. I was not even like filming their faces, but they just went like, oh, don't film me. So I was like, oh, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I usually try to protect their privacy when I stream, so I don't even like, you know, try to film them like at all. But do they offer traps? Maybe. Sora-sanの裏垢にオンリーファンズあったない。
To people. But there are some seedy bars and restaurants that use the same tactic to get unsuspecting people into their establishment. Once in there, they'll use different tricks to try to get as much money out of you as possible. Some restaurants may bring out some food to you without you even ordering, and then when you go to
Wait, can I just clear up some misunderstandings? Wait. No. Can I just clear up some misunderstandings? Because, like, when Japanese people hear that, what we think of first is, like, izakaya no. That thing. What is it called again? The Japanese people, like, any people, like, who know about, like, Japan. Like, when you go to, like, izakaya, and, like, you don't even order anything, but you just freaking get like these like 3 like tiny plates, right? And you get charged for it. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's like that too. Appetizers, like what is the word for it in Japanese again? Like not food samples. Yeah, otoshi. Yeah, otoshi. Thank you. Otoshi So like in Japan, there's like this one weird culture, and they call it freaking otoshi, right? You go to like a bar, right? And you don't even order anything, and they freaking just give you like this like food on a tiny plate. Yeah, that's a scam, I know, but that's what everybody does in Japan, and it's not a scam anymore. It makes no sense. Like you freaking don't even order it. And like those freaking people come up to you and be like, oh yeah, here's your food. And you're like, wait, what the hell is this? And they usually taste not really that great. And you freaking have to pay like $5 or like $10, sometimes like $20 for even being there. And they charge you for it. And I'm like, that happened to me before. But it happens a lot of times. And that's kind of like what Japan's like. If you go to like bars, izakaya, if you go to like normal restaurants, that doesn't happen. But if you go to like izakaya, it's a thing. Yeah, and like a lot of Japanese people are saying like, oh, just like think it's like a, you know, charge like fee for tables. Yeah, you can kind of think like that, but I don't really get that culture as a Japanese person like who grew up in Japan. So
Believe they'll demand that you pay for the food that they.
Japan has tipping culture after all. I kind of still like that we don't have it, but like if you think that's like a tipping culture, like partly maybe, I don't know. And thank you リシシレモンさん。お通しって大体豆とかあんまり食べない野菜でいつも困る。本当にそれなんですよ。He's like お通し usually has like some like little beans and I don't usually eat them, and it makes me like confused, right? And he's like so right about it. He usually has like some freaking like tiny tofu, like smelly tofu. Like sometimes like insect looking whatever things, and it's usually like $7, and it's like this small, right? And they are just so proud of like what they bring to. They just go like, do you want this food? Like, I know that plate it's like so tiny, but this is like so great, it tastes so great, try it. You cannot say no to that. クソうまそう。いやいや、日本人がうまそうっていうケースはないでしょ。Not takoyaki, not takoyaki. Takoyaki is actually a pleasure. If you get takoyaki as like a otoshi, dude, everybody freaking goes like, what the fuck? No, it's not that like great.
And it's usually really expensive. Sketchy bars will serve you overpriced drinks, and in some extreme cases, they may even drug the drinks, and they'll rob you when you're passed out.
I feel like that info is like straight up wrong, but like, is it true? Wait. No, that just doesn't sound like. That doesn't really sound like it, like. Wait. What? That doesn't really sound like what happens in Japan. That's definitely illegal. I know you can say like it happens in every like in any country, but this part right here sounds like it just doesn't happen in Japan. Like seriously, like. I mean, right. It's like something what happens like in every country, right? But no, dude, like seriously, if this freaking, like if people find out like they're doing it, it's a felony in Japan. You actually freaking get executed like socially. And people don't want that here. Like you don't get actually executed, but in Japan instead, you get socially executed, and what that means is like people will freaking stay away from you. Like literally everybody, right? And you will not get hired at any companies. So you are destined to be a no-lifer, and you cannot have any job anymore. Like you just have to be like a jobless person forever, which means you eventually have to just kind of, you know, die of like a freaking starvation basically. I don't think it's true though. I really kind of doubt it. And thank you so much for the donation. The boy who cried Navy. I'm new to your channel, but your videos are funny. Thank you so much for that. This is my first time catching you live, and you're cracking me up. Thank you so much for the donation. And I really appreciate the comment too. I'm not really doing anything hilarious right now. I'm just like, I don't know, being myself right now. But thank you so much. And it was in Japan. It actually happened in Japan? Wait. Did a brother in Japan actually make a video about this? Because like some of you guys like actually said it here. Japan's worst tourism scam explained. Is it like by a brother in Japan? Really? Wait, what have I freaking missed out on? This. Wait. Are you freaking real? Are you serious? Well, maybe I'm the maybe I am the person like who freaking thinks Japan's like a utopia or something. Wow, goddamn, I really didn't know it happens. Wait, so does that mean he experienced like literally freaking like what the? Who freaking did that to our brother in Japan? Like he's like the freaking coolest person ever. He's like the most handsome person ever. And now like everybody's gonna freaking say like, oh, Sora the Troll has a crush on a brother in Japan and whatever. You can just tell him. Oh, but actually don't do that because I am 98% sure he thinks I'm creepy.
How safe is Japan, really? Everybody always says there's no crime to be had.
Theft, violent crime, despair. Things that I've not really experienced.
It wasn't him. It was his viewer that experienced it.
In 10 years living in Japan. Well, maybe not despair. I mean, the price of Family Mart fried chicken's gone up 18 yen this month alone. That is the real despair. That is the real crime. Look, you probably don't need me to tell you that, statistically speaking, Japan is one of the safest countries in the world.
Does a brother in Japan even know who Sora the Troll is? I want to think he knows about me at least. Maybe he doesn't know who I am, but like if he knows who I am, then like he probably thinks I'm creepy.
Amongst the low.
Because the thing about it is here. Let me just talk about this like freaking one story where I just basically became a loser. Right? I mean, I am a loser and I don't really see myself as a person who's cool or anything. Like, I'm a complete loser and that's a fact. You cannot really change the fact, right? Basically, I made a video about Chris Broad, right? Because I kind of like him and I wanted to get some attention. So, like, I basically went like, oh wait, if I just make a video about Chris Broad, I can get his attention and that's gonna make me happy. Woo! Like, I came up with like that one idea, right? And I thought I was like the most genius person like for 1 second, and I did make this video because I was like 100% sure he was going to show up in this video because like I did so many other things to like other people, like Trash Taste for example, and yeah, they showed up, and Japanese man Yuta, he showed up too. So like every time I mention people on my channel, they usually show up. So like I was like, you know what, I can do the same thing and maybe Chris Broad is gonna show up, and he never showed up. And if I have to guess what happened, it usually means like he kind of knew this happened. Probably like he heard this from like his viewers or something, right? But he was like, Sora the Troll, cringe. So yeah, I got ghosted. It was a great experience. But I understand why he ghosted me too, because like I would ghost myself too, like you know what I mean. So yeah, that happened.
Lowest rates of violent crime and theft, and in fact this year Japan hit a post-war low for the 7th year running for reported crimes domestically. Now I'd be incredibly naive to tell you that Japan is some kind of utopia. You know, there's a reason.
Did you just say Chris is ugly? Dude! You cannot say that, it's actually a felony! It's like freaking Mario's like ugly. Goddamn, like Chris is like the most handsome person ever. To me at least. Wow! That's a felony on my channel at least. Like it's not actually a felony. You don't get arrested for it or anything. But like on my channel, you can have to say like Chris is handsome because like I think he's a great person and he's freaking. I think he's really amazing. That's kind of exactly why I'm watching his channel right now. Simp, you can just call me a simp. It's whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna deny you. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not simping for Chris, because if I say that, then everybody will be like, Sora's simping. But no, in reality, I really just respect him.
There are women-only train carriages, and in recent years there have been some highly publicised crimes that have shocked the nation and triggered headlines around the world. And on a slightly more bizarre note, this week 2 monkeys went on a rampage around Yamaguchi Prefecture, injuring over 60 people in scenes that sound like something out of 28 Days Later. But ruthless monkeys aside, for the most part, every
See?
day-
This guy's like, yeah, he's like, かっこいいと思う. He's like, yeah, Chris is handsome. I think so. Dude, seriously. Chris is one of the most handsome people ever, and I don't know why I'm talking about this. Now everybody's gonna freaking say like, I have a crush on Chris or something, whatever.
life in Japan is very safe. Many people leave their front doors unlocked. It's not uncommon to see people leaving their worldly possessions on the coffee shop table when they go to the restroom, which coming from the UK always seems like a colossal act of bravery. If you drive through the countryside, you'll see these unmanned stands just selling fruit and vegetables. You just deposit the money in a...
Like, do you guys know what this is? This thing right here makes no sense to me as a Japanese person like who grew up in Japan. Like, do you guys know what this is? Can you guys guess what this is? And like, can you guys tell me how it works? This thing right here is something that makes no sense to Japanese people. Even like to me, it makes no sense. If like those people who just said yes, what is this? What is this? What is this? Explain what this is, and like tell me how it works. Shop standing, a vendor, honesty store, it's a shop, food shop. That's because you didn't grow up in the countryside. True that, but still like it still makes no sense. Yeah. You take food and leave money. So like I still like don't understand. There's like nobody there, right? Nobody there. And there's like freaking food. There's like vegetables and whatever. You take vegetables and you pay for it when nobody is like there. But people in Japan never break the rules, and it actually works. Nobody freaking steals like those veggies and whatever. It's like what I heard, and I'm like, how does that even work? Like, how is it actually a thing? How is no AI freaking checking it and like killing all those like thieves when they try to steal like those like veggies? And I'm like, it makes no sense, but I guess like this is freaking Japan. I guess like, you know, like the technology is like so advanced that people freaking think like people are just being watched 24/7, so like it just doesn't happen. But I still don't understand why it happens. And the Zenoist, thank you. We have also these in New Zealand. It just works. Awesome. But thank you so much for the donation. I still don't understand how it works and why it's a thing still. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just like am not educated.
Vegetables. You just deposit the money in a coin box and take...
Like, see right there? Did you guys see it right there? Like that freaking cute like handwriting right there? That's like the cutest thing ever, right? お金入れ, right? Like put your money here and thank you. That's like the cutest thing ever. Like they probably like made it themselves too, right? And they're like, yeah, like people can freaking put money in here, and people actually do put money there, and it's just really amazing. Like, there's no like, you know, printer or anything. They do everything like manually with like their hands. Everything is like handmade. This is kind of like what happens there, and I really think it's cute and it's amazing.
The money in a coin box and take it away, and there's nobody there. There's a level of trust in everyday society that feels largely absent back in the UK, which I think is very sad. Honestly, I think the only time
I feel like it's more for old people. It is partially, yeah. It is.
Felt threatened in Japan was last week when I walked past an ice cream.
Your English sucks. Thank you so much for telling me that. I will try to take English lessons, and I will learn English. And thank you, Ross Tomer. I live in Eastern Europe. People will think this vegetables are free and one grandma will take half of all veggies. That's kind of what I thought too, but thank you so much for the donation. I felt like people freaking steal the veggies. If they don't steal them, like, I mean, I want to think like everybody's nice and I want to believe in like people's like freaking humanity and stuff, but I still like don't, I still cannot believe it, really.
Shop with a very direct and intimidating slogan.
I love my cows. You will too. Love them. Love my cows.
But this atmosphere of safety and trust can give you a false sense of security if you come here as a tourist. And today I want to tell you a story. And unfortunately it's not a nice story like The Wizard of Oz or Harry Potter and the Goblet of Secrets. This is the story of a couple that came to Japan on their honeymoon and walked...
Is this like what you guys were talking about? Like where his viewer got scammed in Japan or something? Is this like what you guys are talking about? If so, I'm gonna actually pay attention to this part. Oh, okay. I'm gonna pay attention to like this part, legit, and try to figure out like what happened. Cause, wow.
Away with $6,000 of credit card debt and probably not a very good image of the country either.
ぼったくりってか、なんか役付けされたみたいな。ちょっと気になるよね。
And when Japan finally reopens to tourists sometime in the not so distant future for the first time in 2 to 3 billion years, I don't want anyone to go through this ever again. You know, I feel a huge sense of regret for not talking about this sooner because I might have been able to prevent this viewer from enduring the nightmare that they went through. And I think one reason I've never discussed it is because Japan is safe, I didn't want to come across like I was scaremongering. But time and again I've heard horror stories like this. Hopefully in this video we can make sure you don't end up abroad in a scam. Abroad in a scam. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Oh, Jesus. But before you come to Japan, make sure.
But by the way, I'm gonna actually pay attention to like this part. I'm not gonna be able to like read the comments because I'm really curious if it's true or not. I still don't think like people freaking put drugs in drinks in Japan.
Don't get scammed online either. Up until a few years ago, I didn't even know what a VPN was. Now when I'm online, it feels wrong to surf the net without one. Like driving a car without a seatbelt, or flying an airplane without fingers. ExpressVPN has been my go-to VPN for the last 2 years. So
Wow! You guys freaking say like, oh, pay attention to this part, pay attention to this part, and it's an ad. Wow! Wait! Wow, you guys got me! Wow! This is like, oh my gosh, you guys got me! Oh, that's a good one, bro. Gosh, you gosh. I know, you guys didn't mean it, but that was like the perfect moment right here. Like he freaking put an ad here. That was like the perfect moment too, right?
when they contact
I know you guys like didn't mean like that, but yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Let me skip this part.
account my connect security Japan, find out how you can get 3 months for Japan. Thereof, one of them is quite
Why skip ad?
serious. This one, where they lost $6,000. The other one seems almost trivial in comparison, is more of an inconvenience, I'd say. And today I'll explain both using stories kindly sent in by viewers that have experienced them firsthand. The scam you need to worry about the most is in Tokyo, and to be more specific, in the districts of Shinjuku.
Of course! I mean, that's like freaking weird, like all the things. By the way, for like all the people out there who don't know what Kabukicho is, that's the most dangerous place in terms of like freaking safety. So it's like going to freaking like, what do you call it? Like going to like, let's say, I don't know if you guys like watch any anime one, you guys probably do, but like let's say, I'm trying to just, you know, think of like a great example. It's like, let's say like, there's like this one area where there are like freaking science in Japan, right? LA or something, yeah, it's like, it's kind of like a ghetto, yeah it is, but it's not really a ghetto. It's like, let's say like there are freaking science in this like, you know, area, right? And everybody likes to fight. Like, if you're a strong person, like they will freaking try to fight you. That's kind of like what this area is like. Like, people freaking like to not just fight you, but like they will try to do stuff to you. And yeah, I mean, something like that actually happened to me too. Like back in like 2021, I went there and somebody grabbed my arm and I was like streaming and stuff too, right? So, but yeah.
Roppongi, and to a lesser extent Ueno and Shibuya as well. And the one thing all these areas have in common is historically they're very touristy places. The story we're going to read out today is actually in Kabukicho. I don't want to put people off Kabukicho though. It is a very cool place. The food's amazing, the nightlife's awesome, the atmosphere is incredible. And in fact, this set is kind of modelled on Kabukicho. I love it. I should have just filmed all my videos there instead of building this ridiculously elaborate set. But I was there only a week ago. It's not an inherently dangerous place, and it's changed a heck of a lot in the last decade. It's far more gentrified now, and there's a lot more hotels. And so there's a good chance.
Do you have lipstick on, or your lips? Wait, it's like a camera thing. Like everybody tells me that on stream on my channel. my lips are not that red. I want to believe, or I don't know. Maybe like I use lipsticks like freaking every day.
You'll stay there if you
Why
do
pause? I'm
come
sorry. I just had
take
to
it.
talk about that.
But there's one rule you need to follow if you do go there, and that is never, ever, ever follow one of the touts into a bar. And if you follow that rule, you can basically switch the video off now and have a nice day. Unfortunately, a lot of people do follow the street touts. They're pretty nice people, they're very engaging and good at what they do, and they're there to get you off the street and into a bar. And you might be thinking, well, oh yeah, it's obvious, don't follow them. That's a golden rule for not just Japan, but many countries.
By the way, do you guys ever freaking like follow those people? So like, I know it's a thing everywhere, right? It's a thing everywhere. Like, where people freaking come up to you and go like, hey, there's a cool bar, and it's only like $50 to drink like whatever drinks you want. Do you want to come to like our bar? It's a thing, right? In any countries. Right? Is it a thing? Well, like, is it not a thing? Is it like a Japanese thing? I don't really think it's a thing in Japan. It's kind of like what happens everywhere. I don't really think like it's like the most unique thing in Japan. It's like freaking what you see everywhere in any countries, right? Do you ever actually follow those people? Yes, well, no, I'm curious now. Like, that's like a no, like most no thing ever. If a random person comes up to you and says like, oh, do you want to come to my bar? My bar is cool, bro. Swag. Like, that's like the freaking most dangerous sign out there. And like, I just don't really understand why people even like follow them. It's like a clear sign of like, oh, by the way, my bar is not doing great, so I have to freaking get you to come to my place so that we can make profit. Bro, swag! Like, that energy right there is like, I really think it's really dangerous, but people freaking still like fall for it. And see, like 83% of like you guys are saying like, no, that's amazing, because I don't really think it's even worth it. In Japan, don't do it, because it's like a clear sign of like freaking like scam right there. So no, yes, that's amazing. And yes, those people, I don't really know why you follow those people, but if you want to, that's amazing. I have to tell you, it's not really worth it. And like, I used to hang out with this one Japanese guy before, and I was like hanging out with him like in Chiba, right? And this one random person came up to me, right? And he had some like golden necklace, like he was like wearing like this freaking golden necklace, and he was also wearing like this expensive looking like watch and everything. He was like one of those people who cared about drip. And he was like, bro, sap, swag. He didn't say any of them, but I basically heard him say that mentally, somehow. And he came up to me and he was like, bro, it was like all in Japanese, by the way. He was like, bro, like, we got a bar that's really cool. Like, it's so cheap, bro. Like, look at this. Like, this is the menu. Like, you know how everything is like freaking 500 yen? Cheap, bro. Swag. Like, look at my wallet and look at my watch. Like, my watch is freaking cool, right? Bro, swag. And I was like, what the hell is even happening? Like, this guy freaking has like the most like dangerous vibe I've ever freaking seen in my entire life. And my friend, for some reason, went like, swag, that's cool, yo. Can I actually go to your bar? And I'm like, dude, are you 12? That's like the most red flag thing ever. And he went like, why, bro? He looks cool, yo. And I'm like, whatever. So yeah, we just left there, and my friend just like looked really like angry about like my decision, because he really just thought the guy got some kind of like swag and like drip and whatever, and my friend was like, why did we not freaking follow him? Like, he sounded so cool, yo. And I'm like, right, swag, wow. And yeah, I don't know, I really still like don't know what he wanted to do, but that was like the most interesting experience I had with him. And thank you so much for the donation, Poleno1520. If we have such a topic today, would you like to create a video about the most popular scam in Japan? I think it would be not only funny, but and helpful as well. I really don't know like what the most popular scam is. Oh, ore sagi, me scam. It makes no sense, but like they scam like old people. And thank you, Damien Willard. Alexa, please look up hot anime girl. Thank you so much for the donation, and thank you so much for using me as a way to ask Alexa to look that up. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And that's actually a genius way to look that up, like without actually like, you know, saying it yourself. That's really smart. I am actually impressed by like, you know, what you just did there. It's like legit the most amazing stuff like I've ever seen like on my channel so far. Like, Alexa, look up a butthole picture. Like, well, like, okay, Google, look up butthole. Like, if you say that, then I have to kind of, never mind.
But I think a lot of people get lulled into that false sense of security, given that it is Japan, given that it is an inherently safe country. Now, the touts that target foreigners specifically are actually foreigners themselves. They're not Japanese, they're Nigerian guys that have been given visas to come over and basically kind of do this and work for these organisations in the area. They have two very good skills. Number one, they're very friendly and engaging. And number two, they're very persistent. Once you start speaking to someone, you can't get rid of them. And it gets very difficult. And if you're none the wiser to the scam, either you or your group of friends might say, yeah, who doesn't want free drinks? I'd love a free drink, let's go. And away you go to a bar that's typically hidden several stories up in one of the buildings down that very neon lit district.
Yes.
Now, once you get inside one of these bars, you are, for lack of a better phrase, pretty screwed. You are going to get charged extortionate prices for drinks. 3, 4, 5 times what you're expected to pay. When the bill comes, the odds are you're going to query it. You're going to be like, no, I'm not paying $200 for what was $20, $30 of drinks. And it's at this point you won't be allowed to leave the bar. There'll be a group of people blocking the door, basically preventing you from leaving until you either pull out the cash or a credit card. In some cases, if you don't have cash, they might take...
Dang it, when you said, hey Google, my Google Home Mini decided to activate. Hey Google, look up butthole.
Take you to an ATM, they'll like frog march you to a fucking ATM and watch you get the money out. It's pretty insane. Don't think just because you've got no cash on you, you've got a magical get out of jail free card. They'll still get the money out of you somehow. And those free drinks and reasonable prices you were promised at the start of the night have gone on to become the most expensive drinks you've probably ever had. But the worrying thing is that's actually a pretty good variation of the scam. That's a less severe one than the one we're going to read out now, because it can go much worse than that. As Laura found out with her husband when she came to Japan 2 or 3 years ago for her honeymoon.
Wow, that's a cool ad! Oh my gosh, look at him! He's so cute! Oh my gosh, I'm curious what this ad is about. Is it like an idol or something? Let's see. Wow, wow, it's about a freaking app. I don't know what app this is. Wait, I just noticed something, and can I just like freaking just talk about what I just like noticed or like figured out about myself? I've been watching YouTube and I've been getting a lot of like ads about like changing jobs and like getting a job and whatever. Does Google, like, does YouTube think I'm a jobless person who never leaves my house? Is it what's happening? You know, like, if you guys have been like watching my streams and whatever, like, you know how I've been getting like these ads, right? Use ad blockers. I mean, I cannot really do that like on stream. Google is tracking you. Why do they think I don't have a job? I mean, I don't. I do, but I don't. Like, I'm a self-employed person, like, who freaking works at home. So, like, yeah, right. I don't, but I do. I do voice acting and I do translations and stuff myself.
Begins. So my husband and I were in Japan and started our trip
Let me pay attention to this part.
to Tokyo. We were staying in Shinjuku and pre-booked the Robot Restaurant for the evening on Sunday. Robot Restaurant used to be this kind of place where people dressed up like robots danced around. It was fun, I guess, but I think it's closed now, COVID reasons. We had a few beers during the show and got chatting to a few English couples who sat near us. The show finished and we all agreed with the other couples to carry on for a few drinks together, leaving the Robot Restaurant, and we decided we should find a karaoke bar. We wandered the streets in Kabukicho for just a couple of minutes before one of our group, neither me nor my husband, got chatting to a tout on the street. I didn't hear the conversation, so I don't know what was offered, but in any event, we found ourselves in a bar and were taken to a karaoke room and were brought several trays of drinks for the group. My husband sang a bit of karaoke, as did the others in the group, but then at that point, we don't remember much at all. We blacked out. Next thing I knew, it was several hours later and we were in the same bar but in a different room. And a hostess girl was basically sat on top of me and I looked over and my husband was in exactly the same situation. Let's just say these...
Wait, Chris in this chat? Wait. Dude! Wait. Wait, no, seriously, now everybody is like freaking giving out like some wrong information. Chris, I'm really sorry. I'm a fan of like your channel, and I've been like, dude, like, who did that to Chris? Dude. Seriously, like, wait, who did that to Chris? Now I freaking just like, I look like I don't have a life right now. You know what I mean? I know. Wait, so Chris, let me tell you one thing. I've been a fan of like your channel. Wait, dude, goddamn, ah! Sorry, I just had to freaking scream because like I really never thought, dude. So like Chris, no, I'm gonna just say Chris Sama because I'm Japanese myself. And Chris Sama, nice to meet you, desu. I'm just trying to freaking use Keigo because you speak Japanese. I know you speak Japanese, and I'm just trying to be polite to you, right? But let me just freaking tell you some amazing things about you. So Chris Sama, nice to meet you. I am Sora desu. And I've been watching your channel for a while, desu, and I freaking sound like a weeb, though I'm not a weeb. You know what I mean? And the Grand Alliance Pog, thank you so much for the donation. And I'm really sorry for like watching your video right now, desu. I'm really sorry. It's not really like I'm trying to be like one of those like reaction channels like that goes like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that. Like somebody just told me like, I thought you were a bad boy, but you sound very, very polite. So I'm really sorry for like doing this. I'm really sorry. And yes, I'm a bad person. Like that's actually so true about myself. I'm actually a bad person. Like I'm not gonna deny it. But I don't really know. Like I mean, so yeah, right. So I don't know like if people told you I have a crush on you or something, but it's not really like that. But how do I tell this? Are you fanboying? I mean, Chris is like freaking one of the reasons I started my channel too. Like legit. So, and yeah, I don't know really. I'll have to do a react video to this. You don't have to. Wait. So one thing I have to tell you is again like, wait, so Chris, I'm gonna read your comments. I really want you to be like honest with me. Who told you I have a crush on you? Like what happened? I'm curious. What happened, desu? I'm sorry for sounding like a weeb, but like, wait, what happened, desu? Deska, sorry, I have to. What happened, deska? Like, did somebody tell you like, oh, this guy has a crush on you, desu, on Twitter or something? Like, what actually happened? Because I have to clear up some misunderstandings. And I have to make it fair, because... No, Chris is not fat. He's like the most freaking good-looking person ever. And I've been saying that on my channel forever. Wait, Chris Sama, are you there, desuka? And I'm like, why freaking do I sound like a weeb? Haha, no comment. Wow! Somebody freaking told you then. No. Let me just clear up some misunderstandings. You know what? Let me just freaking do the Japanese says the Japanese way of like freaking sitting, like when they like apologize and whatever. And this is not like an apology stream or anything, but let me actually freaking be polite. Cause Chris, let me tell you something. No, I'm a bad person, but that's actually a fact, and I'm not gonna deny it. I'm really aware of like freaking how cringy I am and how stupid I am. I am like that one person who freaking watches like Barney the dinosaur and goes like, "Oh, this is cute." I'm that one person, yes. And yeah, let me just clear up some misunderstandings. Yes, some people said like I have a crush on Chris, but I actually never said that. I might have said that, but when I say something like that, I usually am not even like thinking. It's basically like. It basically is like something I said got twisted and twisted and twisted, and somebody went like up to you on Twitter or something, and then they just went like, you know what, dude? This Japanese guy right here, he's streaming. He has a crush on you, bro. Like, it's kind of like what happens in high school, and I'm just experiencing it right now, and I don't know what's happening right now. I'm sorry, and I know this is funny, but I'm actually freaking super like trying to be. I cannot speak English anymore. But yeah, let me explain the situation right now, right? So, how do I explain this? How do I explain this, really? Sora, you were literally saying how handsome he is. He is freaking good looking. That's one thing like I've been saying forever on my channel. Like that's, so Chris, let me make you, let me just make sure about something. So, I know, like somebody probably told you like, ugh! And what's up, man? Like, well, how's it going, cutie? So, Chris, let me just read the donation before anything. Sorry. Poleno1520, thank you. Well, Japan has at least pretty funny and peculiar, and it's not literally just some cries of casino names. Thank you so much for the donation. What the hell has Sora been drinking? The thing about it is, the only thing I've been drinking is this Dr. Pepper, which makes no sense because, like, this thing doesn't freaking make you drunk or anything. I'm not drunk. I'm just desperate. Like, does that make any sense to you, Chris-sama desu? Like, why am I freaking sounding like a weeb? And thank you, Dice Punk Studios. It's not like I like you, Baka. So, no, don't do that, because he knows. Like, he knows how tsundere works, because, like, he's been in Japan forever, right? He's freaking like he's been in Japan longer than I have been. That makes no sense. I'm Japanese. Yeah. I'm not sugar high. It's freaking Diet Dr. Pepper too. Like this is sugar free. There's like no sugar, so like it's not I'm sugar high or drunk or anything. It's just I'm desperate. Like does that make any sense to you? Because so like you guys know that like you guys know that I watch Chris. And like you guys know that like Chris Abroad in Japan is like one of the channels like that inspired me a lot. So like I've been sort of like respecting him like everywhere. And Chris, I'm sorry for making that video right there. This video right here. How Japanese people actually see Abroad in Japan. And I don't know like if you watched it or not. This is basically me freaking fanboying. I have to admit that. Like, if you actually watch it, I don't know if you've watched it or not. This is just me, like, fanboying because I really wanted to get your attention. And, yeah, I thought I got ghosted, so I just decided not to do it because I didn't want to be, like, that one person that just goes up to you and go, like, "Oh, Chris, notice me!" I didn't want to do that. But, yeah, Thank you, Juan de la Cruz. Enjoy the fanboy, and I have to go to work. Have a great stream. You sound thirsty, my guy. No, but thank you so much for the donation. And Starlight Angel, thank you so much for the donation. Let me just clear up some things, okay? Let me just clear up some misunderstandings because I feel like this is gonna freaking be a meme at this point, like where people think I have a crush on Chris, and I really just want to make sure about that. All right. One, yes, I like Chris. Chris is like, oh, get back to the show, haha. Let me just summarize my points. One, I like Chris Broad. I've been simping. No, I've been telling everybody how much I respect Abroad in Japan. Anime Man Abroad in Japan, PDR-san, Dogen. That's actually one of them too. Those 4 people, actually, there are more channels like that influenced me. But Abroad in Japan, I'm like legit subbed to you. I watch you before I go to bed. I watch you every night. Now I freaking sound like that one stalker, but that's not who I am. Yes, I watch you. and I look up to you, and no, there's like this one twist going on. Let's get back to the show, and let's just get back to like what I was talking about. What was I talking about? So yeah, the reason why I'm watching this, like your video right now, is we were talking about like Japanese cameras, right? And somebody was like, "Oh, Chris from a brother in Japan talked about this. You gotta watch it, Sora." And I was like, "Sure, let me watch it," because I'm really curious, like if scams are even a thing in Japan. But you know what? Let me tell you something. It's 11 p.m. and I gotta go to bed because my mom's gonna get mad at me because I'm 12. So and thank you, Lee Ling Yang. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you. So thank you so much. So let me go to bed now. And you're not a vampire. I freaking sleep. I sleep. And yeah, let me go to bed now. And let me just do that and this and that. How long have I been streaming? 1 hour. That's great. So like this 1 hour mark is like the best timing right now. So let me just read all the comments and let me just summarize like all the things I was talking about in this stream. Yes, I have a crush. No, I don't have a crush on Chris. I respect Chris Broad and Desu. I'm not a weeb. Let me just read all the donations for 3 minutes and I'm gonna, go to bed, okay? The Zenoist, thank you so much for the donation. 2 a.m. gang, thank you so much. Let me just read all the donations for, not donations, all the comments for like 3 minutes, and I'm gonna leave. 3, 2, 1, go. 最近遅い時間、最近ね、仕事終わらせてからやってるんで。You didn't finish the video, Angel, watching it. I wanted to watch it, but like, no. I know, he might be there. So my mind is like, oh, right. Like, I kind of have to watch it because my viewers told me. But at the same time, I'm like, it kind of feels like doing like math homework in front of like my math teacher. You know what I mean though? And so I'm like, you know what? I should probably play Roblox and be 12 instead. So I can just run away from this reality I'm facing. Which is basically like the most anime thing I'm doing right now. And thank you, Ablet Music Banskuta. Thank you so much. Let me read comments for 3 minutes. I'm not gonna actually get off and go to bed. クリス・ブロードさん来ました。本物。びっくりしたわ。びっくりしたわ。I mean, I'm gonna just like make all the streamers unlisted. That's what I do on my channel. So, you should start a Japanese teaching sessions. I suck at teaching Japanese. いつも来ない。今日来てね。俺ね。これさ、何がすごいって、なんか知らないけど、俺多分ね、片思いしてると思われてる可能性があって、はい。Can you teach us how to apologize in Japanese? ごめんなさい。I'm not gonna do a gaming channel now. What's your street? Chris may be waiting you outside next morning. That's like the most amazing thing ever though. Like if he's actually waiting outside, I'll freaking just get outside with like a I don't know, just a piece of paper, and I will tell him to just give me a autograph on it. And I want him to write something like, Hello Sora, this is Chris or something. So 各尺リンさんと交際してる疑惑あります。全然そんなこと1ミリもないので全然気にしないでください。ちょっとここに関しては真面目に言っときますね。各尺リンさんとはそういうのマジで1ミリもないので、本当に1ミリもないので。てかまともなこと言うと、各尺リンさんは俺の彼女とディスコードで友達になってるから、なんならそこまで言っときます。 各尺リンさんに聞けばわかるけど、リンさんは俺の彼女のことをディスコードで多分友達になってるはず。そこまで一応言っときます。だからもしなんかあれって思ったらやつに聞けばわかるんじゃないかな。本当にリンさんとはマジで YouTube 以上の関係のものは何もありません。それだけ。だからなんかね、なんだろうな、なんかあれ、その疑惑どこから湧いてきてるのかわかんないんですけども、あれ彼女にとっても良くないと思うんで。というのもだって俺ってもっといろんなね友達っているわけなんですよ、いろんなところで。で YouTube で目立ってるから、リンさんと俺が受け立ってるだけであって、もっと仲のいい女性の友人っているんですよね、何人か。リンさんより全然もうほんと毎日話す仲の人とか、別に彼女じゃないけど、その中でリンさんが挙げられるのって俺的にちょっと違和感があって。というのもリンさんって1週間に1回話すか話さないかの中だから、けど YouTube で表面出てるから目立ってるっていう。だからなんか違和感マックス、正直。けどまあはいっていう感じでございます。He sounds so cool, but what is he saying? Oh, I was talking about Barney the dinosaur and like my laptop was like penis. なんかそう結局表面で見えてるものが多分そこだからさ。リンさんは多分あっちも同じこと言うけど、別にすごい仲いい友人ってわけではなくて、正直 YouTube の表面だけのとこは正直ちょっとある。正直多分リンさんに聞いても同じこと言うと思う。というのもだって他もっとあっちもこっちもめちゃくちゃもっと一緒になんかね話してる友達とか、一緒にいろんなとこ行ってる友達っているから、やっぱりあっちもこっちも。で俺とリンさんは別に遊んだことはないので、ちゃんとでその予定もないかな。心は繋がってないけど、別にあんまりそこまですごい仲いい人だと思ってないと思う、あっちもこっちも。同じこと言うと思うよ。Rin isn't a friend. She's a friend, but like she's not that close to me. Again, like I've been doing collabs with her like on YouTube, so like it's kind of like on the surface. So people will think that like we are close and whatever, but like she's just like one friend I have, and she's not the closest female friend though. It's kind of like what I've been saying basically. And some people think that like Rin-san is like the closest like female friend of mine, but she isn't really the closest to me, honestly. If you ask her that, she will say the same thing. Just friend, not closest friend. Yeah, she's just one friend of mine, but we are not that close, honestly. She will say the same thing. It's just like we stand out because we both like do YouTube, and like it seems like we do a lot of things together, but not really. Like when we talk, it's all about YouTube. When we do things, it's all about YouTube related stuff. And I've been friends with her for like 2 years, so like I guess like I know a lot about her now. And I know like what she wants to do, what she doesn't like to do, and whatever. But I'm not really that close to Rin-san. Like I don't really know like what she actually likes to do in her free time and whatever. Like I'm not really close to her that way. She will say the same thing. Collab with Chris Saba when I want to meet him though. Like it's not that I want to collab with him, because like if I say I want to collab with him, like that will just make me sound like I want him for views and whatever. And I don't really care about views or like sub count. Like seriously, I just really just want to meet Chris Broad. It's kind of like me wanting to meet like Jack Black or like, you know, who's that comedian that starred in Yes Man? That comedian guy. Like, yeah, he's like a hero of like mine basically. So I want to just like meet him and, you know, shake his hand and disappear like a Jim Carrey, yeah, like a high school girl basically. And I think it's been like 3 minutes. I'm gonna go now, and thank you so much for like watching my stream, everybody. I'm gonna upload something really dumb tomorrow, and I'll say bye here. Bye. And I'll be back like probably in like 3 days, 4 days. I don't know. I don't know when I will stream. Bye bye.